Blood Angels. For the Blood Angel throne? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek video. I'm Phil, the Glacial Geek, and today I'm bringing you I'm actually pretty excited about this one. It's another one of my Kitbashes, and this one is pretty exciting, and it's the first time that I've really reimagined a model into something else, and I'm excited to show you guys what I've got going on here. The brand new Blood Angels, gotta get the right angels, right? The brand new Blood Angels army box is on pre-order now at this point if you're watching this when this drops. Otherwise, it may already be out, who knows, whenever you see this. But in the future time, there will probably be more access to the brand new sculpt of the Astorath model. It's a super cool resculpt. It's still got the same dynamism and the same action as the old one, just buffing them up a bit in plastic and just having a lot more detail in it that I think is really kind of cool looking. It's a really awesome looking model, and I think he's going to be great on the battlefield for the Blood Angels. But when I saw it, the first thing I thought of, and therefore my brain had to focus down on, was how I could change that model into something completely different. The only thing that hasn't changed is a love for blood. So I've decided that I am going to take that model and I'm going to convert it into a Master of Executions for my Chaos Space Marines, or maybe even a potential Khorne World Eaters army in the future. Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? But I decided to put it together and see what I could make of it. And I'm actually very, very happy with the results. I'll let you guys be the judge of it for yourselves. But for me, I'm very happy. So without any further ado, let's get into this Kitbash. So thank you to GW for sending over the Blood Angels army set. It's got a lot of really cool stuff in there. There's a bunch of the upgrade sprues, which is great. So even if you don't necessarily need those, the Death Company there, you can use those upgrade sprues for later. So I was interested in the Astorath model. This is what I was going to use as the base for my Kitbash here. Great framing there, Phil. I cut out all the pieces that I think I would need, and then I started to de-angelify it. There wasn't a whole lot that was very angely specific. He had like the purity seal, which obviously is not very pure for Master of Executions, and then there was a couple other bits and blood drops that I had to scrape off, but the skulls obviously would always work for there. The next thing I wanted to change was his axe. I loved the haft of it there being like the spine, but the axe head was a bit too small for my liking, for what I wanted for a Master Execution. So I had this other axe from the Demon Prince kit, which was, I thought, very large, which I think would be great and fun for a Master Execution to be wielding there. And then I forgot that I was using my sharp blade for that one, and got a little blood for the blood god myself there, a little sacrifice to Khorne, because I got to make sure you be safe, because you're not supposed to do that, and I did it, and that's why I got hurt. I then drilled a hole with a pin vise into the haft of the axe there. To get in the center right there, I just press it in the center there and get it. Make sure that the pin is going to fit here. I just use a paper clip as a pin for there. Then I will glue that in, and I like to keep the paper clip together there. It gives a nice handle to hold on to when I'm trying to fit it in there. And then I can cut off whatever I need once I've got it inside the haft there. I also drilled a hole into the bottom of the axe head there, and then I cut down the metal bit as much as I needed, put some glue on both ends there, and then pressed them together, and they should fit perfectly, which they do. But if I want to get the right angle, the beauty of using the wire is that you can actually bend it a little bit so you can get the right desired angle there, depending upon whatever you're working with. I then just assembled the rest of the body once they've been de-angelified. And the first bit here I'm adding here is a Khorne emblem from the Chosen kit onto the belt there to cover where I cut off the the bit for the Blood Angels. I then took a Chaos Space Marine head and cut off the neck there. Oops, dropping it. And then I put some sprue goo into the head there to give me a nice basis to get the head to fit the way I want to do. Put it on backwards at first, but you just got to spin it around over there. Then I cut off the back part where the jump pack would normally fit onto it. Oops, dropping again. Real clumsy there, Phil. And fitted it with a Chaos Space Marine backpack, just one of the ones from the Legionaries from the Push Fit kit. And I just thought it would be a nice one. It had a bunch of skulls on it, which worked really well for a Master of Executions who is looking for blood for the Blood God and skulls for the Skull Throne. Just got to make sure it fits there. I also had an icon there from the, I think also from the Legionary, from the Chosen kit. Glued all of that together, made sure that the axe fit with the icon on the back, and then I put on some shoulder pads. I kept the one with the skull face, the big giant skull from Astorath, and then I replaced the other one with a regular Chaos Space Marine one, because you got to add some little bit of extra pizzazz for that one. I then had this bit that came from the Demon Prince kit. It's just basically a Space Marine helmet that's hanging from a chain. I figured that would be a good trophy for him to have on the side there, dangling as if to show some dynamism. So this is my basing material that I made. It's a mix of the snow and the black basing material from the Army Painter, just mixed up in whatever kind of proportion you want, and it just gives a nice difference in the grain structure without having to fiddle with actual sand. And here it is. This is the model all put together, looking good and ready for some paint. I really like how it looks very chaosy, looks very dynamic. It's way more dynamic than the Master of Executions. And while we paint, let's find out about Master Kravis. Kravis stalked across the battlefield. The nails were biting deep, but the agony just fueled him. It allowed him to commune with Khorne himself. The calls of blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Throne, echoed through his mind. At this point, he wasn't sure if they were real, or if he could actually hear the God himself speak to him. Either way, he would provide. He slaughtered all who came before him, but most of these were not worthy sacrifices, not worth taking a trophy. Their skull, not worthy of the throne. He searched for a better offering. He had a sense for these, and he knew he didn't have to rush it. They would come to him, or he would come to them. Then he felt it. He felt the calling. He felt the call of Khorne. He saw a lieutenant from the Dark Angels across the way, and he knew that that skull and that blood would make a worthy offering to Khorne. He began to run, eyes only on his opponent, eyes only on his offering. He passed by hand-to-hand battles. He overran other soldiers in the way, crushing their skulls as he tromped over them. And as he arrived at the lieutenant leading his men, he cried out, "Blood for the Blood God! Skulls for the Skull Throne!" He He leapt into the air and brought his axe down onto the head of the corpse worshipper. The blade sliced through the ceramite of his helm and detached the head from the body. Blood gushed and was provided to Khorne. He picked up the head, still in the helm, and attached it to his side. This skull would go to the throne. And he moved on, looking for his next offering, looking for his next battle. It would come. He would find it. And he would put more of his enemies into the ground on his way towards it. Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne. Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne. It echoed through his mind. It echoed across the battlefield. His cries, the cries of his fellow brothers and traitor legions. But really, who were the real traitors? Those who had turned their back on us? Or those who knew the true gods and provided them with what they needed and wanted? And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my painted Master of Executions taken from the Astorath model, and I think he turned out fantastic. I loved how the colors work there. I mean, it's a pretty standard color scheme, but it just works really well with this model. It's very dynamic. It's got a lot of detail that work really well. Skulls work, obviously, for a Khorne worshiper as well as it does for a blood angel. Just had to take off a couple of those pesky little blood drops, but that's fine. But I think he turned out pretty amazing, and I'm very excited to use him on the battlefield. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I am super happy how he turned out. Super dynamic model that I've turned into, someone who's pursuing blood in a completely different way than the original Astorath model may have been. But I'm super happy how he turned out. I think he's going to make a great addition to Chaos Space Marine Army. In the future, when the Astorath model's available individually, you can do this Kitbash yourself, or if you've got 2 boxes of it because you wanted to get more of the jump pack intercessors or something like that for your blood angels, you can turn the other one in for your Chaos Space Marine Army. Or if someone else is looking to get rid of it because they're not really interested in it, you can pick it up and do this Kitbash. All the other pieces are pretty standard ones you're gonna have if you're doing a Chaos Space Marine. The axe was from the Demon Prince, so if you use the axe on the Demon Prince, it may not be available to you, but I'm sure you could pick it up somewhere, or just find a different axe head. I just wanted something like oversized, looked nice against it because of the original Master of Execution has a giant axe, and also it's chaosy, which is nice. And then some of the other bits are basically from the Chosen and regular Intercessor, push fit ones and stuff like that. So the backpack and stuff like that, and then the icon I think is still from the Chosen and stuff like that. But not excessively difficult pieces to get your hands on, other than the Astorath right now, I guess. But you can easily do that in the future with when it becomes more available. So let me know down below what you guys thought of that Kitbash and how you thought he turned out. Did you like the paint job? And if you did like the paint job, I do have something I would like to talk to you about. I am a member, as you probably know, of the Army Painters Factory team. And when I was going on to it, I made sure that in my negotiations that I made sure it wasn't just benefiting me, but also wanted to benefit you guys, my faithful, awesome viewers, and made sure you guys could get something from it, not just me. So I negotiated with them to get a code that you could go to the Army Painter, and if you put in the code FactoryGeek5, you will get 5% off of your purchase there, and you can buy all of the paints that I utilized here, including the basing there, which I thought was kind of it's kind of cool. It makes it very easy for getting quick bases on there that you can paint, or speed paint even. A lot of the times I just put speed paint down and it gets it down there. But you can get 5% off of all the paints that you saw in the video, and any other ones that you're interested in picking up. And if you join my Patreon, there's an additional discount in my Patreon for 10% off. That's a bigger discount for the Patreon members, but it has to stay behind the paywall. But you could sign up for my Patreon, and if you're going to buy one of the bigger box sets of the paints from the Army Painter, you can easily get the discount, the difference back from whatever you pay into my Patreon in discounts at the Army Painter. So go check that out if you're interested. Links down below for Patreon, and the link to, if you forgot, Factory Geek 5 is down there too. So let me know what you think of it, what you think of the paint job, what you think of the sculpt. If you're interested in doing something like that, if you've done something different with a character like that, or making a Master of Executions on your own, let me know down below and keep the conversation going. Love all of the interaction that I get with you guys. It always makes me feel good to see what you guys have to say. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.